His dream was always to be a boxer, so I know what I'm up against. You know, I look at all these small details, but I spar, I do my film study, all that type of stuff. I keep it professional, but on the night, that's different. All that textbook stuff goes out the window, and you just got to be relentless.
They're not sparring Jake Paul. They're moving around with him, touching him up, a little jab and a little technical bullshit. So they're not sparring him. Lawrence Okoye's quite a good puncher, he's big now. Jake Paul's not good enough to spar with him.
About that, but I mean, you got to give it up to Jake Paul. He must have a big old nut sack on him to think he can go in there and take out Anthony Joshua. I'm fired up for the fight, but I also am a little bit scared for Jake.
Anthony Joshua didn't throw punches. He delivered a warning. In a chilling final message aimed at Jake Paul, the former heavyweight champion made it clear that boxing isn't a playground for clout or viral moments. With calm confidence and unmistakable menace, Joshua drew a sharp line between selling fights online and surviving them in the ring. If Paul crosses that line, Joshua warned, the consequences won't be promotional, they'll be permanent.
Thank you for having me. Well, you got to give credit to Jake and his team. They reached out to me, to be fair, and it was a great opportunity for me. So it's an opportunity for me to fight. I wanted to take 12 months out of the game, and I'd done that, and then it was time to get back to work. So I was planning on fighting anyway, and actually I would have been fighting this weekend if I had it my way. And this opportunity presented itself, and I said, yeah, why not? It's great. I think it's massive, it's colossal, it's making big news. We're bringing marketability together with ability. Those two worlds collide. You got Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, and we're here in Miami. We're bringing Europe, Africa, Asia, Nigeria, the whole world together to watch this show on Netflix. It's going to be phenomenal, and that's how we ended up here, basically. Two guys that just want to put on a good show.
As the world counts down to the massive December 19 heavyweight clash in Miami, between one of boxing's biggest names and its most controversial modern figure, Joshua's words cut through the hype like a blade. This wasn't promotion or theatrics, it was a warning. Step into my world and you'll pay the price.
An elite competitive level. So that makes sense. I've been vindicated. He's now fighting fake Paul in what will be a massive mismatch. If this is correct and it's 10-ounce gloves in a professional boxing rules, 8 3-minute rounds, it's not going to go 2 rounds, is it? It shouldn't do. It shouldn't last a round. But we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? It's hard to get your head around. It's hard to know what to say about this. AJ's obviously excited about it, about making some serious bunts. And Jake Paul's telling us that he's going to shut all the haters up by jumping in there with AJ. So what is actually going off? We're not going to know, are we, until the fight actually, till the first bell goes. We're not going to know what's actually behind all this. And we can't start throwing accusations of any sort of skullduggery going off, because we've got to take it at face value. It's not an exhibition, so nothing's pre-scripted. This is a professional boxing match.
Rising heavyweight Moses Itama urged Paul to prioritize his health over the paycheck, warning that one mistimed punch could cause lasting damage. Former pro Amir Khan was even more direct, saying Joshua could seriously hurt him, potentially causing brain damage.
Closing in. You know what? I think it's a great fight, and I think Joshua sparked him out in like 2 rounds. Really? Yeah. Why do you look surprised when I don't.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
Come on, bro. You're fighting like one of the best heavyweight fighters in the world against a YouTuber. Like, come on. Like, respect the sport of boxing. And if AJ has to go in there and show these influencers that, listen, you can't fuck about with boxing. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna get hurt badly, and this could be one of the first fights where a fighter gets hurt badly, because if you look at the size difference and the power difference, I mean, bro, there could be brain damages going on there. I mean, AJ could hurt him badly, you know.
Well, when you look at Francis Ngannou, who's one of the most fearsome combat styles there is. I know it's MMA, but we saw what AJ did to Ngannou. So,
and that's why you can't be surprised if AJ's going to do the same to what's it called again? What? Jake Paul.
Jake Paul's nose has visibly changed shape during brutal sparring as he prepares for his heavyweight fight with Anthony Joshua. Far from promotional hype, the injury highlights the real physical cost of training with established heavyweight boxers.
My nose has moved a couple millimeters to this camp. I'm not gonna lie, this sparring, the heavyweights, my nose has slight little something in there. A guy by the name of Frank Sanchez, he definitely cracked it a little bit. But yeah, man, it's bad. Wait, hold on. Look at that, dude. I'm like Squidward, dog. But don't respect me for getting in there. Respect me when I beat his ass. I'm not just walking into a fight. I'm going to win. That's what's gonna shock the world. I will become the king of boxing and own the whole entire
Jake Paul's decision to face Anthony Joshua isn't just about a high-stakes payday. Many in boxing believe it puts the sport's credibility at risk. Critics argue that matching a YouTuber-turned-boxer against a two-time heavyweight champion with vastly greater experience and power turns competition into spectacle. Former champions and analysts have questioned whether such crossover fights undermine boxing's legitimacy, warning it could be viewed as a farcical mismatch rather than a true contest.
If something does go horribly wrong, who's to blame?
We can all say we wouldn't have done it. Anybody would put it on. They would have all done it because the money that's at stake is mad. If something goes wrong, I think boxing needs to have a look at itself because in reality, if Jake Paul wants to have a real fight with Anthony Joshua, and there's no restrictions at all, then whoever's commissioned that to say, yes, go ahead, you're risking the reputation of our sport. When Jake Paul gets knocked out, if it's brutal, we're going to get that. Oh, this should never have happened. Boxing is disgusting.
Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What you think about that matchup, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua?
I don't know if he's ever sparred anybody that large and that athletic that hits that hard who's not sitting there trying to take care of him. I mean, you see it multiple times when someone receives their first real beating and they're having post-concussion syndromes, they're having headaches, they can't remember things. It changes people as a fighter, and I'm a little bit nervous about that. But I mean, you got to give it up to Jake Paul. He must have a big old nut sack on him to think he can go in there and take out Anthony Joshua. I'm fired up for the fight, but I also am a little bit scared for Jake.
Former world champion Carl Froch has questioned whether Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua will even happen, telling reporters he remains unconvinced the blockbuster bout goes ahead as planned. Froch has also cast doubt on Paul's sparring claims, suggesting many sessions with top heavyweights aren't genuine. He says he wants real proof before believing Paul is truly preparing for a legitimate heavyweight fight.
They're not sparring Jake Paul. They're moving around with him, touching him up with a little jab and a little technical bullshit. So they're not sparring him. Lawrence Okoye's quite a good puncher, he's big now. Jake Paul's not good enough to spar with him. So let's see the footage. Let's see the sparring and then I'll believe it. I still don't believe the Jake Paul AJ fight's going to happen. But I've got flights booked. I'm leaving next Tuesday to go out to Miami. But I still don't believe it's happening. Hence why I've not paid for the flights. No. Someone else has. But someone thinks it's happening. I'm going out there and I'm just intrigued. Like, what's going to happen? Like, what is going to happen? It's a sanctioned fight. It can't be fixed. It's a federal offence in America if that's fixed. They might have gone to Miami because they can be paid and they can sanction it, sign. A British Boxing Board of Control won't have anything to do with it. The New York State Athletic won't have anything to do with it. Nevada won't touch it. But Floridians, they've had it. And because it's not an exhibition, there can't be a TISIT agreement in there because it's illegal. So this has to be a proper fight. And every single boxing fan or boxing guy who knows about how boxing works knows that if AJ goes in with Jake Paul and tries, the fight won't last a minute. Because the first 1-2 he lands, have a look at the Ngannou fight. Yeah. And what happened to Ngannou, Francis Ngannou, who took Tyson Fury 8 rounds. Well, look how that fight ended. If he hits Jake Paul with that right hand, he might fucking snap his neck. You know what I mean? And then it's game over then. And then it is bad for the sport.
Tony Bellew has been one of the loudest critics of the idea of Jake Paul facing established boxing stars, framing his concerns around the sport's integrity. He previously condemned Paul's matchup with Mike Tyson as dangerously mismatched, calling crossover fights like these insane and showing little patience for influencers entering serious boxing territory. In past interviews, Bellew has dismissed Paul's bouts as a freak show, arguing they earn no respect from true boxing fans unless Paul defeats legitimate, active fighters. That sentiment is echoed by other champions. Artur Beterbiev, the undefeated, undisputed light heavyweight champion with a perfect knockout record, has publicly challenged Paul, urging him to prove himself against real elite competition rather than celebrities. After Paul's Tyson win, Beterbiev even took to social media, calling on Paul to step up and face genuine boxing danger, implying that only then would he experience what championship-level boxing truly looks like inside the ring.